It's LA Village. Go back to another video. No, I've changed that intro. No one changed it too. And we will not, as I say my last 3 videos, talk about the elephant in the room. What we will talk about is I did a gig a couple weeks ago at a bee farm. It was a kids event, and I've never really shot kids before, so that was a different experience. So, I bought a lot of equipment, but these are the 3 cameras I brought with me. So, of course, I brought the Nikon ZR, the other Nikon ZR, and for photos, I bought the Nikon Z8. And for lenses, I had the 50mm Viltrox, the 24-120 f4, we'll talk about that one in a minute, and the 16mm 1.8 Viltrox. And I had other stuff that I had with me, but we'll just talk about this. So this setup right here is what I use to take candids and walking around taking pictures and photos of people. And then I did recruit my partner, unbeknownst to her, to help me out. Because I realized that I need a tribe or something, because shooting by yourself, you miss a lot. You miss lots of things. So I had to recruit my partner and give her a rundown of how to use the cameras. And basically, I was going to have her do is use my Nikon Z52, which is recording me right now. And that was going to be her camera to get a lot of B-roll and behind the scenes and some pictures of me and stuff. Maybe I'll put some up of me in the bee suit and whatnot. But that's what I had her for. What I didn't know I was going to use her for was this. I had to get in the bee suit. This is my second time in the bee suit because the kids were there. And I was like, oh, if I'm in the bee suit, how am I going to take their portraits and while they're in their bee suit? And that was very hard. So what I did was give my partner the Nikon Z8, and I gave her, actually I did bring another lens, sorry. I brought the 85mm, and I gave her this one for portraits to shoot with the Nikon Z8, which I shouldn't have done. But we'll get back to that one in a second because of this lens. We'll get back to that in a second. So basically, I had the Nikon ZR and the 16mm with me, so that way when the client was opening up the beehive so the kids could see all the bees, I can get video and photos at the same time. But what I had to do was basically dial in all my settings before I put the bee suit on and all the gloves, because once that was on, it was very difficult to, have some dexterity. So basically, the 16mm is really wide. So at first I thought maybe I should get the 35 or maybe the 20. But I'm glad I went with the 16. It's much wider, and I think it's a fun lens for kids anyway. Because if I had the 35, I would have been moving back and forth too much, and that would probably agitate the bees. So I'm glad I had the 16mm. But that also left me another problem of trying to walk my partner through using the Nikon Z8, the 85mm, and an off-camera flash. So I tried to give her a rundown on how to use all that equipment, because she was supposed to just be there for the Nikon Z52. But this is what I said, hey, I probably need a tribe or to reach out more into my community to assist with things like this, because basically there's no way for me to do that. I just say there's no way for me to do that. What I probably could have done was set up a portrait station and had an iPad or something and just touch on the iPad and tell people to stand there. But being in the bee suit, having the other camera on, and she had like 3 or 4 sets of kids that she was rotating out, I still wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, I need a tribe. But for the most part, I think the event went pretty well. Using the Nikon Z8 was great. Using the ZRs for videos were great. But this was my one problem, because the night before, I went out and did a personal project with this lens and this, and I left it attached. I usually don't leave it attached. So when I was packing my gear, I just assumed that this was the 24-70, because that's the lens I wanted to bring. But I brought the 24-120. Yeah. But we still made it work. The reason why I wanted to bring in 24-70 is because, of course, it opens up to, I think it's 2 more stops than the F4. I don't know my math. I'll probably put it down here. But, it just opens up brighter. And that way, when I was giving this to my partner, she could have zoomed in and out to make it better, because what she had to do was, walk back and forth with the 85 because it's so tight. But with so many people being there, it wasn't really conducive for her to move around like that, which was totally my fault of not bringing it 24 to 70, and using the f4, it wasn't enough light. Even though I had off-camera flash, I had a very small flash, and with kids, which I'm really learning with kids, they don't really stay still all that often, so it's rapid fire. So, still my fault. But next time I shoot with kids, I will kind of know what to do. But other than that, I did not shoot the ZRs in 6K 60 red. I used a mushy Nikon ZR H265, but I've used that a couple of times. None of my clients know the difference. I think when people talk about the mushy ZR, it is mushy. I'm not going to sit there and lie. But most of our clients don't even know it. As long as you shoot something good for them and they love it, they don't care. So I still have the videos to do for her. I just sent her the photos yesterday because I had to cull over 1,300 photos. That was a lot. And now I got to do the videos tonight and tomorrow. But for the most part, I think I like this setup. Well, let me take these out of the way for a second. I do like this setup, meaning that I put these on to go to do video, and I use this for my photos, and I can switch the video while I'm handheld. I think that's great. The only thing I wish, if I was to shoot in the highest codecs or whatever the case may be, is that I wish this had a 6K codec. Hey Nikon, can we get a 6K codec in here? It'd be great. So that way, if I want to shoot in 6K, I don't have to worry about fidgeting around and doing other stuff. I can just shoot in 6K and everything. But for the most part, I'll just shoot in 4K, so that way I don't have to worry about mismatching my codecs and everything. But yeah, it was great. I got some leads from doing the bee farm because I shot it for free. I should say I shot it for free. I did shoot it for free, but the parents who are going to get the photos for their kids, they will have to pay for the digital downloads or to order prints. So that's where I'm going to make my money at. But going to that bee farmer, I did it for free because she's one of my first clients that I'm trying to break into to work with more farmers. So I'm hoping that she do a word of mouth, and that way I can get more clients that way. So I have one more project. I told her I'd do her for free, and that way I can use her stuff as my reel and go from there. But at the bee farm event, I did give out my business cards to 4 or 5 people, and we have some contact. We'll see how that goes. And other than that, I don't really have much else to say. I know this is a boring video, but I need to do one. And I'll see you in the next one.